Is Toyota dropping the ball? Their production and sales are down for the month of April. Out of the Japanese automakers, is this only affecting Toyota, or is Honda, Mazda, and Subaru also feeling a crunch? Let's get into it. Toyota is stumbling in China and Japan. April global sales and production fell from a year earlier due to the price war in China and a decline in Japan after production stoppage of some models after a safety test scandal in the Daihatsu brand. This is not a catastrophic loss for Toyota. Sales only fell 0.5% in April, but what's alarming is a 27% drop in China. China's huge. It's the biggest auto market in the world, and they just dropped 27%. And they dropped 14% in their home market of Japan. Despite that, we're seeing double-digit growth in the United States and in Europe. What's nuts in China is that Toyota was holding many promotional events at its stores, and it still didn't help them overcome this 27% drop. Why is Toyota not competitive there? Well, it's obviously the price wars, but mainly because of the rise of Chinese branded autos and through electrification too. Toyota's just not up to snuff there. There's also lots of alleged handouts from the Chinese government to companies like BYD to help keep the prices low on the Chinese branded models. And that's why Europe is considering putting tariffs on Chinese EVs coming into their countries. Obviously, we know what happened here in the United States. There's a 100% import tariff on Chinese EVs. Now, if you missed my Prius Prime review, go and check that out. But in there, I mentioned that the Prius was on a stop sale for a little bit. They stopped production because the Prius had a recall of its door handles not working properly. They also had some halts at the Toyota Auto Body plant where they make the Noah and Voxy minivans. But not only that, there's been a stop sale on Land Cruisers as well as Lexus GX models for the last, month or so, at least here in the United States, to my understanding, because of quality issues. Now, their sales were down 0.5%, but their production volume was down 4%. We mentioned China, but also production is down in Japan due to Daihatsu being a kind of a mess right now. Interesting that production is down in Thailand, and not interesting, or not a surprise anyways, that production is down in Mexico. I made a video talking about how the supplier issue in Mexico is so bad they can't even get employees at their suppliers to make high quality parts for the Tacoma. It's a mess down there. In February and March, Toyota was forced to repeatedly halt production at the plant in Tijuana, Mexico, where they make the Tacoma. Nearly 40% of vehicles sold by Toyota in April were gasoline electric hybrids. Only 2% were battery electrics. That's also a big reason why they are floundering in China. What's even more surprising is I'm reviewing the Lexus UX 300H. Might do it today and get a video up tomorrow or so. But anyways, global production figures on Lexus showed a plunge of 54% in April. Holy cow, why is Lexus down that much? They're not down that much here in the United States, but maybe in China. So we're going to look at Honda, then Nissan, then Mazda, and Subaru to see what's going on with their production and sales. So worldwide production for Honda here for the month of April is actually up about 16%. In Japan, it's up 125%, so it's up 25%. And it's outside Japan, it's up 14%. Production in main regions, United States up 5%, but North America up 14%. Why? Because they have a plant down in Mexico and a plant in Canada that's probably humming along at higher rates. Asia up 13%, China up 10%. So while things are going down for Toyota in China, Honda might be turning or rounding the curve here as things improve for them. Sales in the Japanese market overall, their K cars are down, but their registrations overall are up massively, up 93%. If we look at exports from Japan, Well, we know that they don't send like any any cars. These are all Civic Type R's, 551 sent in the month of April to the United States, or should I say, yeah, to the United States, because I don't see any being sent to Canada. That's kind of surprising. Well, Honda gives us production numbers here for places like China being up 10%. We don't have sales numbers in China. What about Nissan? Nissan's China sales are hit or miss. So let's check out what's going there. Well, production is down about 10% in Japan for Nissan. Production outside of Japan for Nissan's up 17%. So global production's up 10% overall. Sales, well, we know sales for Nissan in the United States have not been good, and things at the dealer level are not good either. But if we look at Japan, it's down 9%. If we look at the United States, down 10%. Mexico Mexico up 20%. Sorry, Canada down 10%. Overall, in North America, they're down 5% with the help of the rise in the sales in Mexico. Europe almost up 11% for Nissan for sales. China down 10%. Not as bad as Toyota, but Toyota's been pretty consistent over the last few years, staying pretty neutral with sales, and now we're just seeing their sales fall. Meanwhile, things just keep going down for Nissan, while sales were actually, or at least production was up for Honda in China. So overall global sales down nearly 6% for Nissan. Moving on to Mazda, global production is about flatline, slightly down. Overseas production's up 29%, probably due to the Mazda 3 production getting better, the CX-30 production, and also the CX-50 production getting better. But domestic production is down 13%. Let's check out sales. Domestic sales, let's get into global sales for Mazda here. Domestic is down 31%. USA down 4% for the month of April. They're still up on the year, though. In the United States. China, okay, so like Honda, seemingly, Mazda is doing quite well in China, up 20%, while Nissan and Toyota are falling there. They're up 75% on the year in China, and it's slowing down a bit. They're up 19% on the month of April. Up 16% in Europe, up 14% everywhere else. Overseas sales up 7%. So total, they're positive across the world, 1.4%. For Subaru, they've had 3 consecutive months of decreased production, down 20%. However, overseas production's up 20%. So it's kind of a wash there. They're only down 6% for production. What about sales? And it looks like they only give us Japanese sales. Their K cars are down 62%. Overall, they're down 16% in Japan, and exports are down 27%, a second consecutive month of decreases. So Subaru is actually not looking that strong in Japan, but with not a lot of information here, it's hard to make too many assumptions with. But I think that's about it. Things are really cooling off for the Japanese automakers, and that includes Toyota. Toyota didn't want to have a record-breaking year this year. They projected slightly lower sales and volume, or should I say production volume, compared to last year. They were burning too hot last year. They didn't want to overproduce, overwork their employees. So it's also a sign, I think, of the world economy cooling off and the affordability of models going down. Honda is seemingly doing well, but we don't have enough information to say how well they're doing on sales. Mazda doing okay, Nissan going down, and Subaru, again, big reduction in domestic production there, even though things seem to be doing well here in North America. I'm going to shut down there. If you guys found this interesting, smash the like button, subscribe for more. Are you worried about Toyota and the rest of these automakers as the year goes on? Let me know down in the comments below, and make sure you're subscribed for more updates in the auto industry. And also make sure to check out the Discord channel. I renewed the link down below, so it should be working for you guys to come into the Discord and hang out with other followers of the channel. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day and peace.